The Spirit in the Body by Robert Crosbie. Letter 7. We have to stand all tests alike, praise as well as blame. Ofttimes praise is the hardest to stand, because it is so easily applied to the personal idea, while blame is easier cast aside. And the difficulty is not abated by the fact that what is said is true, in case of praise. Should not be elated by praise or success, nor cast down by blame or failure, because either of these is an application of the personal idea, an identification of oneself with the event. Success in doing thus is not to be had at once, it comes, first, by recognition of the right attitude, and then by repeated applications of the right attitude towards every event. As your letter shows that you know the attitude and that you make the applications, the rest must be simply a matter of time, and no cause for anything but going on. You say things are not done with supreme faith. Perhaps not, yet faith is there and ever tends supreme wards. Our ideal is always higher than our attainment, otherwise, there would be no progress. To have attained one's ideal is to have ceased progress, however high that ideal may be. This must be true for all beings in a universe of infinite possibilities. It is an expansion of the ideal all the time. Your own ideal has changed, although you may not have perceived it. Being in the same direction, the change is not noticed. Relying on the supreme, no effort is wasted, because all creative thought is in the right direction. One does not desire to preserve the undesirable, but the desirable. The maintenance of the desirable thought, and the cessation of the undesirable are to be aimed at. Then again, it is well to remember that our real one is registered in the inner man, that every effort to subordinate the lower to the higher, is, to that extent, an endeavor to live the life, thus creating and fastening the silver strings that take the place of the catgut. All this is going on. Why? Because of our attainments, our goodness, our impeccability. Surely not. It must be the service of man with all that the term implies in theosophy. In this age especially, it spells sacrifice from the first step, which is, as H.P.B. has said, the best means to lead our neighbor on the right path, and cause as many of our fellows as we possibly can to benefit by it. This constitutes the true theosophist. The first test of true apprenticeship is devotion to the interests of another. Theosophy was given for the healing of nations and must be put out in such form as to make it of practical use in daily life. About W.Q.J., William Q. Judge, as you know, was a great being, but many, while they admired him as a man, never had his greatness revealed to them. The few who had this good fortune have many times felt like Arjuna in the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, the writer among them, who, while he tries to express him, never forgets that he is but a pupil of a beloved, revered and great teacher. Following in his steps as best he can, he endeavors to lead others along the path he knows, that they in turn may realize and profit by the inestimable privilege, and become teachers in their turn to others, all links in the great chain of saviors of men. So, the oneness exists as far as it may be expressed, all along the line, each for all, and all for each, non-separateness. W.Q.J. knew the path that all would have to tread, and balm, advice, warning and encouragement will be found in his writings at every turn and for every circumstance of life. The closer one gets into the current that flows from him, the greatest of the exiles, the more readily will those things which harass and distress fall away and become as nothing. That you have done so, that is, got into the current, is the best karma for you. The work has been for you your rod and staff, and a blessing to many who would never otherwise have had that help. The more of that and similar work for others unknown who are waiting for it, the less room there will be for thought or feeling of anything that does not aid that work in some way. This is a desirable form of one-pointedness. We consider the writings of WQJ to be particularly designed for the needs of the Western people. We know their value. We also know that neither the world in general nor Theosophists in general are aware of their existence, and it is our desire and purpose that they shall know, as far as our power and opportunity permit. So, we just stick to our purpose, not because it is ours, but because to us it is the highest good and the very best thing we can do. They also may come to see what we see,